Hi all. Everything in my videos is pulled from the public domain and I am using them under the Fair Use Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourself, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. So I had to jump on this early this morning because the new website for Harry and Meghan's charity is up. Archewell, okay, I probably didn't say that right. Now, it says on a different website that this nonprofit is probably going to offer classes, lectures, seminars, conferences, workshops, mentoring, and host events for cultural, sporting, mental health, and entertainment purposes. It also has the potential, according to other websites, to publish podcasts and television shows, and of course, sell collectibles like cups and shirts and stationery and all sorts of things. Now, we all know that initially, the two of them were going to use their Sussex Royal brand, and they were going to sell things like clothing and stationery and books, and this is how they were going to make their money. But of course, that went right out the window when the Queen said that the royal family was not for sale and they could not use the word royal. Now, nonprofit corporations, by definition, do not exist to make money, but to fulfill one of the purposes that is recognized by the United States federal law, which is charitable, educational, scientific, or literary. And under state and federal law, as long as a nonprofit corporation is recognized and operated for the nonprofit purpose, and as long as they have secured the proper tax exemptions, it can bring in more money than it spends to conduct its activities. In other words, it can make a profit. Tax-exempt nonprofits often make money as a result of their activities, and they use it to cover expenses. In fact, this income can be essential to an organization's survival. They can use this income for its own operating expenses, and we're going to touch on that in a minute. Because the difference between related and unrelated activities can be confusing, the IRS has said some activities will not be taxed, even if they aren't related to the nonprofit's purpose. And here are a few of those. So some of the activities that are not taxed are activities where nearly all the work is done by volunteers. The exchange of mailing lists is not taxed. Distribution of items of worth of less than $5 as incentive for donating are not taxed either. So there are no legal requirements for a predetermined maximum of overhead spending for nonprofits. None. So a nonprofit's overhead includes the cost of personnel, fundraising expenses, which includes salaries. Also included in this is the cost of travel. Now, we all know what that means. Hotels, food, materials, everything is a write-off. And everything is allowed as long as it relates in some way to the nonprofit. So let's say I want to visit my good friend 2 states over and I want to take the company private jet. All I have to do is find a charity near her home, stop in for 10 to 15 minutes, and the flight is a write-off, per the charity. Here in the United States, we have the Better Business Bureau, which is a company that watchdogs other companies and tells you who's good and who's bad. And I was absolutely shocked because by their standards, 65% of a nonprofit's total expenses are usually for program expenses. That's right, 65% goes for salaries, travel, food, etc. 30% is for fundraising. And if you're calculating it out, you know that that leaves 5% for charity. That's right, people, 5%. So if Harry and Meghan's website has 10 charities listed and you want to donate $100, only $5 goes to the charity and the rest gets eaten up by their, quote, expenses. So why would I give my money to them when I could give it to a place like St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital? Because at St. Jude, the kids get treatment for no cost. Everything is covered for these poor families, and they freely share all the discoveries they make. I mean, they're just so fabulous. Why wouldn't I want to help stamp out childhood cancer? Now, I know it sounds like I'm touting on them, but I do have to say, I find it fabulous that 100% of your donations go for everything I just said. That's right, people, 100%. So to wrap this up, I just have to say that I think people who give money to these two, now that you know the money is going to fund their lifestyle, I think that's just insane. I would also like to point out that we're coming into the holiday time, and the referendum that was signed by Trump to stop evictions is going to be running out in January. There's going to be a lot of homeless and hungry people here in the United States, and I'm sure around the world with this pandemic. So while certain people are making comments about how wonderful the lockdown has been for them because they get to spend every waking moment together, the rest of the world is going hungry and homeless. Please consider helping those around you as much as you can. And just remember, the greatest gift of giving is anonymous to anonymous. I hope you guys have a great day.